Hey folks, leave it here once again. I hope y'all doing okay out there. I hope everyone's doing good. Well, here in Georgia, it's going back to being cold. It's like in the 30s, it's been really cold and very windy too. Well, by the way, tomorrow night, folks, don't forget to set your clocks. I think about an hour or something like that. Time change is coming tomorrow. Sunday night, I think. So, yeah, just a fair heads up. But anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed my thoughts. So, it's favorite episode of Supergirl Season 3, and of course, that's what I've been, talking about all my Superman marathon TV shows, been on Supergirl, the CW, or Arrowverse show, starring Melissa Botanist, Benoist, and I'm giving my thoughts / least favorite episodes of Season 4. Yes. Of Supergirl, yes, that will be the title. Yes, but this is the final season that I'm talking about. I will not talk about Season 5 and 6. I'll get to why later. But, quick thoughts. We're right now on Supergirl Season 4. This is honestly my least favorite that I have. If it wasn't for Melissa Benoist and Joan Carrara coming back in, and Sam Ryder from Smallville coming back in this as Agent Liberty, I probably wouldn't have cared to even watch this season, because for me, this season is a major letdown. This is to the point where I just stopped watching the show. This is where the show just went bad for me. Well, when it started to go bad, and then they just got worse for Season 5 and 6. But overall, just not a fan of the season. Didn't care for it. I was really disappointed. Despite how disappointed I was with Season 2, I would say I like Season 2 more than this season. But that's just my opinion, folks. But anyway, let's get into it, shall we? So, yeah. The season ran from 2018 to 2019. You have some new cast members, like I said, Sam Witwer, who plays Ben Lockwood, aka Agent Liberty. If I remember Sam Witwer, I can't say his name right. You have Nicole Millance, April Parker Jones as Lauren Haley, so some new cast members there, and of course Joan Cryer comes as Lex Luthor in this season. And of course Melissa Benoist plays Red Daughter. Yeah. But Sam Witwer, he played Davis Bloom, if I remember Smallville Season 8. Yeah, in Season 8 of Smallville, he played Davis Bloom, aka Doomsday, in Smallville. So, but what this season is about... Oh. Crap. Alright. But what Season 4 Supergirl is about, to give you the plot synopsis of the season, Kara deals with a wave of extraterrestrial prejudice secretly instigated by Lex Luthor from prison, forcing her to fight for the civil and political rights of aliens. Ben Lockwood, who is a former college professor who suffered a series of personal tragedies at the hands of, aliens, forms a human first group called the Children of Liberty, and of course he wears like a metal mask and stuff, and calls himself Agent Liberty to end all aliens. Meanwhile, in the nation of Kaznia, Russia, a clone of Kara, dubbed Red Daughter, who we saw at the end of Season 3, is trained by its military to fight Supergirl at Lex's request. Kara and Alice clash for the DEO's new addition, Colonel Lauren Haley, who was sent to monitor the DEO's progress under Alice's direction. Colonel Haley and the President try to force Supergirl to reveal her identity and causing the feud to escalate when she refuses. And you also have new characters in here like Dreamer coming in. Brainy from the third season is the main character in the show, replacing Wynn. And you have, like I said, Lex Luthor, who has got big plans in this season, and before we finally see him, and let's just say he's up to world domination in this season, and Supergirl has to stop him. Yeah. Did I forget anything? I don't think so. But overall, that's what season 4 is about. So. Okay. Get my Darth Vader cup. Alright, guys. So, my favorite episodes, starting with American Alien. Yeah, which is the pilot episode of season 4. It opens up with a Supergirl car. She's saving people. She's even going to other countries. She saves a little girl from getting attacked by a meteor. She saves a train from crashing. And she does some other heroics as well. And still working with the DEO. And basically, she kind of becomes like a head reporter at the DEO. At CATCO, of course, her name is Carver Danvers. Then you have brothers and sister Otis and Mercy Grave. Otis, who of course works with Lex Luthor. Mercy Graves, who was like Lex Luthor's personal assistant or his driver. Yeah. They attack an alien named Dr. Voss. They steal an MP device from his lab. Supergirl tries to stop them. Maybe it was in this episode, but they have something to lock her feet in and knock her out the window. It's a device that can, that can take gravity away, so she's falling. But you also have John Jones, who he's trying to do what his father is. In this season, he's dealing with a bit of an identity crisis. But in this episode, he's trying to, you see him talking to a group. It's like an alien group talking about people who have hated him and against them. The aliens that they have dampeners to hide their identity because people are, frightened of them. But you find out that Otis and Mercy, they're working for Agent Liberty. Got a metal mask, gold metal mask and armor and stuff just to hide his identity. You do see him make a speech or something. But basically, Agent Liberty, he hates aliens and he intends to wipe them all out. As you can say, this season deals with racism as well. But John, he has this girl named Fiona, who, he worked with. They get attacked by an alien race hate group or whatever, and Carl tries to ask John for help, but John's like, no, I'm a man of peace now, I can't help you fight Carl, I will assist you. And they of course have some disagreements. Alex and Brainy, start to communicate because since Wynn left, and I think Alex is okay, a decent leader for the DEO. You first see her kicking ass and talking to the president, Linda Carter, who, of course, she's an alien. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't care for Brainy. He's just irritating as hell. But of course, Otis and Mercy plan to attack Agent Liberty. They seem to attack the president. They don't try to kill her, but they expose her as an alien in front of the whole world, which pisses people off. And Otis gets captured because he thinks Mercy is able to talk to Supergirl. Of course, kind of in a microphone way, by using a microphone because Supergirl has super hearing. So she's like, Supergirl, we're just trying to save the planet. We're trying to save from these roaches. Yeah, that's racist for them to say, but they do say it in here. Otis is has little voice you really think my sister would kill me? But they randomly try to question him about where Mercy is, and of course Otis won't talk. Just mocks them for killing half the planet, with Daxamites and stuff. Fiona gets kidnapped by Agent Liberty, and Agent Liberty stabs her. She's like, who are you? He's like, I'm simply an agent of liberty. Then you see the duplicate Cora, Red Daughter, punching the wall, practicing her powers. But overall, American Alien, good episode, good start. I would say. Then another favorite of mine is called Fallout. But like I said, President Marston's her outing as an alien. She gets, of course, impeached. They have a new president, the vice president, forget his name, President Baker. And I swear this president looks like the stepbrother of, it looks like the long-lost brother of Bill Clinton. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Supergirl tells him that, she's there to help him, that she's true just the American way, even helps fix his tie. I forgot to mention in this, well, maybe it wasn't in this episode, never mind. Mercy is able to get all aliens, their dampeners, able to do like this hack. And you have Brainy trying to get pizza. I forgot to mention Karen Null, who's a new girl at the Daily Planet. Catco, who Cola's trying to train. Cora even acts like Cat Grant a little bit, which I agree with Jimmy Olsen. It is a little creepy when she does that. But Nia's going to go get like a drink at a pizza place, and I was about to say Win because I miss Win. I miss Win a lot. The actor who played Win, I thought he was great. I missed him being in here. But Brainy, his damper goes off. They see him as blue when the pizza man sees him. The pizza guy sees him as an alien. They try to beat him up with a baseball bat. Nia tries to go to Jimmy. Of course, he was still in charge of. He's still, the boss of Catco, the chief editor, the editor-in-chief of it. Just tell her to write a story about it, but he's like, we don't have no proof of it. We can't just do that, Eventually, Mercy's able to break into L-Corp. You find out that her and Lena were maybe like friends back in the day, but she breaks into the L-Corp, and Cora, can't really go to Supergirl, so she has to, of course, put on that. She's like, I'm just going to go do this, and, Cora's secretly rescuing them by, she's catching bullets. She's using the Supergirl to get these bad guys, to blow these bad guys away. She does come as Supergirl, though. Yeah. The other episode, John is through peace though. Starts to, investigating Fiona's where she's at. She has a psychic link with John, and he sees that there's an anti-rally going on. He sees Agent Liberty talking about how much he hates aliens, about what they're going to do with the planet. Mercy and Lena fight, with the bit of the Lexington suit arms. They're fighting a little bit, which I thought was actually a pretty cool fight, until they're able to stop Mercy and definitely put her in the DEO prison. But Otis and Mercy are able to convince a guy, I forget what the agent's name was. They convinced, his name is Jensen. They convinced Jensen to join them in their cause. They use Lena. They eventually help him escape. Lena. They use Lena's depression device. They put kryptonite in there. Supergirl was, of course, midair. She's flying. The kryptonite comes in the air, and she just passes out. You see her falling out, and that's the end of the episode. You think she could probably die, but overall, Fallout was good in my opinion. Then another favorite of mine is called Man of Steel. No, it does not involve Superman. John catches Cora before she crashes. He, goes in his disguise as Martian Manhunter. Flies up in the air, ends up to catch Cora, and you see that they have to put Cora in a. She's got this awesome suit in the season though, which I thought was cool. It's like a robotic suit for her, but it keeps her safe and it keeps her from dying because there was no way to heal. She got so much kryptonite on her. She's going for for 15 years that if it can infect her or that it can kill her, so they have to put like Supergirl in a robotic suit. And John is just, I'm sorry if I sound like sick y'all all the way, I've been having sinuses this week just because of the weather. But anyway, back to where I was. John gets mad about this. How angry he is, how pissed he is about this, that he could have saved her. And he tells Alex he should have listened to her. And I forgot to mention in the season, Alex is the leader of the EOS, so she did okay. She's got like a really bad hairdo, I'm sorry. In my opinion, her hair just looks terrible in the season. But anyway. Yeah, like I said, John got mad about it. But you see, like a few years prior, maybe 10 years prior, where Ben Lockwood, who's a university professor, his family suffers tragedies that, you see that his father, Peter Lockwood, he hates aliens, he calls them roaches, and he kind of has a racist attitude toward them. And Ben Lockwood is a good man at first. He doesn't want to argue with that. He takes his dad to work. They own like a steel mill. They go there. They find out one of the workers are an alien. They attack them. His father don't try to stop it until Ben tries to intervene, tries to tell them to stop it. The alien, in a self-defense way, shoots like a spike out by accident. Shoots Ben, like right here, passing him out. At first, you see Alex and John telling Peter Lockwood that, well, that alien has rights. Y'all are attacking him. And through another event of where Myriad happens and they nearly get ready to lose their home or whatever, something like that. And Supergirl gives a speech about it. Peter is more negative about it. Then you get to see where Rhea, Terry Hatcher sees too, where she shows the attacks might take over, and this attack affects her home. And in season 3, it nearly happens again, and Ben's father actually dies and tells him to stand up and stand for what you believe in, and he dies there in the still. And because of that, you can really feel for. I do feel for Ben Lockwood. Even though I feel more for him in Smallville as Davis Bloom, I feel for him too. He's just a man trying to do everything to survive, make money for his family, and he just feels like his world is crumbling down upon him, and he's just angry. He gets angry about it, starts to blame aliens about it, and this is when he kind of goes hateful. Then even in his classroom, he's talking about how kind of being a racist, I would say, in his class, talking about Benjamin Franklin, certain things in the past that were in the past, and nowadays everything is different. But one alien girl is offended, the aliens in his classroom just leave, and one of them reports him. He gets fired. He tries to blame the alien girl. He sees her on this bar. Cora stops him. She's like, "What's the problem, sir?" She stops Lockwood from almost ready to hurt him. He's like, "What? Go have a good day." But thing is, after his father dies at the funeral, him and his friends get drunk. They decide to go down this business that took his father's business away. Another steel mill that took his father's business away. And drunk, him and his friends decided to burn it down. An alien comes out. Well, they think it's him at first. Ben grabs a pipe and he just starts beating the alien. You don't see it, but he beats and murders the alien. Eventually, things start working out for him. He eventually starts going back to, he's getting another job to make money, and is trying to build up the hate against it towards aliens by protesting and giving people signs and all that stuff, letters. Eventually, Mercy Graves comes to him saying, "Ben Lockwood, you and your friends have been doing some murder and harassing aliens, huh?" He's like, "I don't want to arrest you, Ben." But he's like, "We need your help." So they give him a suit, and he gets the Agent Liberty suit and puts the mask on, so he becomes Liberty. And in the present day, Ben prevents Mercy, they almost kill Chancellor. It's like, we do not kill one of our own. But they just, But they decided to break into the DEO headquarters instead. Blackmailing him. Overall, good episode. Seeing how Lockwood became Agent Liberty. And then another favorite of mine is called Parasite Lost. Wait a minute, what was the next episode? I think I forgot to write one down. Sorry, y'all. Okay, another favorite of mine is called Amnesia. Amnesia, where when the airship was filled with kryptonite, like I said, Kara has a kryptonite suit. Anyway, yeah. Kara gets, like I said, she gets this armor suit. At first, when she wakes up, Kara's like freaked out. Like, where am I? I was like, you're okay. Yeah, alright, Kara. We're here to, And she tells Kara, you just need to stay. You need to do what I say because I'm your commanding officer now. I'm your boss. So you gotta listen to me. John eventually meets Manchester Black. Who at first, questions John because he breaks in John's apartment. He's like, where's Fiona? Where's Fiona? He grabs John like this. And John, shows him his red eyes, his red Martian. Man, I was like, today's not a good day to picture. Like, oh, it's alright, mate. They talk about Fiona, that by the Liberty, that she's been kidnapped. Manchester has talked to this cop who knows about it. He jumps with this cop, finds out some information. The guy passes out. Manchester Black is like, Americans, no idea how to drink. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, Mercy and Otis kidnap when they break into the DEO with Jensen. They kidnap these two aliens, hypnotize them. It's kind of like reminded me of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Y'all remember? Well, if anybody's seen that movie, Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, when Khan also used these little worms to put into people's ears, it basically is a way to control you. That's what it reminded me of when Agent Liberty puts it in their ear. To control them, but these aliens decide to go out and fight, and Manchester helps in the fight as well. Since they're still infected with kryptonite, Otis, with Jensen, they're able to fight a little bit. Mercy is definitely killed by an alien, and so is Otis. They only uses the spikes to kill them. And we see Supergirl fight, though, with her, the aliens on the road that's being controlled. When she fights in the suit, by the way, it's awesome. But they're using Fiona, her mind control empath. But they're able to find her because, John's able to open up a link to Manchester's mind and Fiona's mind. It's like in a vision, he can talk to Fiona of where she's at, and they go to rescue her. I like Manchester Black in the season. If y'all remember, Manchester Black I did talk about him in Superman vs. Elite when I reviewed that movie last year. But then how I would describe the character of Manchester Black is that, he's an anti-hero. He does murder. I would definitely say he's a bit of a bag hide, because he does murder. He is willing to kill. But when he finds his girlfriend Fiona, she's just out, she's dying basically. He's like, can you do something for her? Can you take away her pain? Well, then do it. Manchester sitting there like, please don't die, and he starts crying. She's like, I love you, Manchester. Fiona tells him, I love you, Manchester. promise me that you won't do anything violent or don't do anything about it. Just, let me go. And she dies, and Manchester, I feel sorry for him, I'll admit. You do feel sorry for him. He breaks down. He's like, they took my baby. Why? They took my baby. And then he just settles his composure. And later on, you see Manchester going out to buy guns. As you can say, he's on a path of revenge. Later on, though, Ben, Agent Liberty, puts a parasite in a Jensen, telling him that he's going to be used to take out the aliens. President Baker assigns Colonel Lauren Haley to be Alice's commanding officer of the DEO. So she's like the commanding officer, just to see the side of it. But overall, I forgot to write the damn episode down, I'm sorry. Anyway, my next favorite is Parasite Lost. This parasite, which, like in season 1, what he can do is take away your energy, or when he touches somebody, take away an alien's powers. One alien who can, is like a chameleon, can transform himself into anybody. When he touches an alien, they just die out. Touches Supergirl, and they will even take her powers. And Colonel Haley has a plan because they're going to take this alien out. And at first, her and Alice get along. I forgot to mention the episode where the aliens that are being shown in the last one, Amnesia, Supergirl was like fighting these bad guys in the machines, in her robotic suit, and the control aliens almost killed her. So, Supergirl is yelled at by Alex, but I thought Alex, like I said, is a bit too lame, but a good reason here for yelling at her. I'm sorry, I just go over it. She yells at her, like, you hurt somebody, it's on me. You get hurt, it's on me. So please, don't do that. That's why Colonel Haley was sent, because she disobeyed an order by the president. Kara and Nia, and they go to an alien healer named Embo, who he has like a little piece in his neck here that keeps him alive. It's taken away, but by Parasite it was, and you find out that he has a daughter, that him and his mother, him and his daughter's mother, I guess ex-wife or girlfriend or whatever, they had a bad falling out, and she would not let him talk to, or even mention her father again. But eventually, his daughter started to cook, and they, of course, decided to help him out. It's an amulet in his throat. Ben Lockwood even looks up to James, because everybody knows that Jimmy Olsen is now, since it's revealed to the public, that he's Guardian. But he's been told by the agency, the DEA, that he cannot be Guardian again, or he'll be arrested for being Guardian again. And eventually Lena's able to help him out with that, behind his back, because she says she loves him. So she says, dude, just go behind his back and bribe the DA. Ben Lockwood will go on these rants about how much he hated aliens. And him and Jimmy talk, and he tells him, I don't support what you do. You sound very racist, and I just don't want to do anything to do with you. And eventually he's able to come out as Guardian again to help her fight. Yeah. Again, I don't care about James being Guardian, not being in a relationship with Lena. Yeah. Or being sure as a cat go. Yeah. Just for what the show has done with Jimmy Olsen, I just don't like it. Eventually Jimmy does contact them, saying if he can make people listen, not to hate aliens, that he can talk to Agent Liberty, if Ben Lockwood can connect him to Agent Liberty. Which, by the way, Lockwood is Agent Liberty. But Parasite Lost, Jensen eventually dies, or he nearly kills himself. Alex is able to talk to him about that good agent that I trained. You know, even though Colonel Haley tells her, next time I see you come down, you do what I say. And he's like, Director Danvers, when you leave a superior officer, you salute. So she salutes her, and she's like, we'll work on that. And this is where her and Haley start having a feud with each other. But overall, Parasite Lost, good episode in my opinion. Alright, and then another favorite of mine is an episode called Call to Action. You have these mad citizens called the Children of Liberty, who, of course, work for Agent Liberty. Manchester fights a bit with these Agents of Liberty. Supergirl comes to save him. He's like, oh, Supergirl, nice to meet you. Yeah. Well, anyways, the Thanksgiving episode 2, John decides to go to Manchester's apartment and tells him that, you're welcome to come to Clara's place for dinner, for Thanksgiving dinner. He's like, thanks for thinking of me, John. And he's like, then you see that in his bathroom, he's got one of the Agents of Liberty tied up, who was a cop, because when he fights with them, and he tortures the man, because he wants to find out who Agent of Liberty is and where he's at. Obviously, Colonel Haley gets on the Supergirl about, she starts because this is where she's able to find out about Agent Liberty from, pamphlets and stuff, pictures of his metal mask face on front of the paper. And Colonel Haley says, we don't involve ourselves. The DEO handles aliens. But of course, her and Cora, are able to convince Brainy, like that, to convince him to do more of a checkup on it behind her back. You find out that Lena has the Home Rock, the rock that, of course, separated in season 3, that separated Rain and Sam Arias from each other, but she's using it to give people powers, Clara places James on a television show. She has a debate with Lockwood, and it's kind of like a political debate, which I didn't really care for. I'm like, this is another part of my favorite of this season, being political. Too much of a political agenda here in this season as well. James ends up meeting Tom, who's a Children of Liberty. He goes on patrol with him. He calls alien roaches, and Jimmy says, I appreciate it if you wouldn't say that. I find it defensive. You found that the Children of Liberty are targeting houses. And Supergirl says to use her heat vision, X-ray vision to see this, and they unmark these houses. The Kids of Liberty, Children of Liberty start attacking people. They even attack this girl who, she has a lizard named Spike, who can turn into a dragon, in his dragon form. Spike fights with Supergirl a little bit in the air, and then, this little girl tells him that Spike was just protecting us, and Supergirl's able to calm Spike down. It's like, Spike, calm down. You did your job. You protected, the little girl's safe. And she pets Spike, which I thought was a cute moment, and then he's like, I'm like, that'd be cool if maybe have a dragon on the show. I don't know, maybe, I'm just thinking, I like the moment between between Supergirl and the dragon Spike, Brainy is able to save an alien. Kara saves an alien family from Children of Liberty. And I think maybe by the end of the season, or the next one, Manchester murders these Children of Liberty. You see him just, like I said, he bought guns, holds out a pistol to these, because he steals an Agent of Liberty mask. He's got a gun, he's like, I'm sorry, Fiona, but I can't help it. And he, about 5 Children of Liberty, and he basically just guns them down and murders them, cold blood. And then another favorite of mine is called Rather the Fallen Angel. Supergirl is lured by Manchester to Shelley Island. First, she helped with Children of Liberty. They're talking, Manchester's ready to attack the island. Supergirl's like, stop, we don't do that. They're able to find like a piece or something, at least in the Children of Liberty. But you see him being a criminal again, and Supergirl's like, I can't walk with you. I can't walk with you, Manchester. She flies away. Because she saves him, but you find out that Manchester, he betrays Cora. She's got like this grenade. It's like a sun grenade that can, boost your powers up. Manchester pulls a piece out of it, so it won't work. And also, you find out that he set up Supergirl to save him because she could lead him to the Children of Liberty, and they capture Cora. You can probably see in the picture here where he betrays her, and they chain her up. And chain her legs up, and Supergirl's just in chains, and she doesn't have her powers, so. But eventually, Manchester, because he set Supergirl up like that and they put her in a bunker where she tries to fly, but she can't because she doesn't have the powers. The only thing she's able to do is kind of cling onto the side of the building, is able to climb up to the window. She sees that Jimmy Olsen as Guardian is talking to them, is trying to make an announcement about alien racism or whatever. And Supergirl was able to get attention by using her heat vision. Manchester meets Agent Liberty, who is not Ben Rockwell, by the way, and he knows, he's like, you're not Agent Liberty. And he's like, tell me who is. And I was just tell him who is. And they all fight. Manchester, has got like his armor suit he puts on, and Guardian is able to fight them off a bit. And Supergirl comes is able to come, get out of that bunker. Because Manchester, shoots the dampener or whatever, or the satellite they have that is dampening her powers. It shoots, which he gets the powers back because of it. And then, John, who's been trying to be there for his friend, Manchester's a friend, stops Manchester, and he's like, you made a promise to Fiona, you failed your promise. And he's like, you shouldn't have done this, Manchester. He's like, mate, feel your heart beating? My heart's not beating. He's like, he tells him how angry he is. He's like, feel my pain. He makes John feel his pain, and John's like, because he can feel all Manchester's hate and rage. How dark his heart is, basically. Lena wants to level the playing field by, like I said, with the rock that she wants to, the harmonel, whatever you want to call it, to give people powers. But one of her subjects dies. She kind of bonds with a subject named Adam. John comes to Cora crying and saying, I'm sorry about Manchester, if I'm killing people and putting you in danger. And she's like, no, John, it's okay. And she, gives him a hug, telling him it's okay, that it's not his fault for Manchester's actions. another favorite of mine is called Suspicious Minds. Okay. Elseworlds Part 3. I will be doing a review on Elseworlds. Like I said, I will be doing reviews for the crossovers. I'll probably mention that here for the last time. There will be reviews for the crossovers for the other shows. So, yeah. But you know what? I do want to talk about one episode. Bunker Hill, which I admit, it probably was one of my favorites, but I did put it on my okay episodes, but I don't know, I don't know why I did that, I'm sorry. Yeah. Another favorite of mine, wait a minute. Gosh. Yeah, Bunker Hill. You find out that Nia, she's like a dreamer or whatever. She has like a vision of a woman almost being like shot or being attacked by Agent Liberty. She has Agent Liberty in her dreams, and it scares her. She is a transgender, by the way, which I'm like, another reason for the show to be so friggin' woke. You know, I'm sorry, guys, but I just don't like that. The whole fact that the show is going woke. I'm sorry, but that's just me. That's how I feel about it. And then she has a roommate who's also transgender, and I'm like, I don't need these kind of agenda folks, these woke agendas. I mean, why writers? Why do we need this kind of pandering? Why? You know. But anyway, Carl and John went to Manchester's apartment, which the way that cop who was the Children of Liberty, well, who was a cop, was because Manchester shot and killed him. They found out he had brass knuckles, that of course he murdered Asian Children of Liberty, and they had to stop him. John is able to communicate with his mind to Manchester, and Manchester is, you know, he's at Ben Watwood's house, saying that he's an old friend of his from college, from the British University or whatever, and basically they talk about war. Eventually Manchester reveals his real identity and is able to tell Ben, the wife, well, your husband's been busy murdering aliens, including my girlfriend, wearing a metal mask. I was like, let's go see, because Manchester has a gun on him and forced him to put the suit on, and Manchester's about ready to kill him too. Supergirl shows up. Eventually, you know, Ben runs away. You know, just as Agent Liberty, him and Manchester fight, and Manchester, before he can almost kill him again, Supergirl stops him. Like, don't make me stop you too. He has this grenade which, you know, dampers and hurts her eyes, and you know, this where they fight at a log factory, but Cora ends up getting, you know, stuck. It's like oil or something she gets stuck in, and she's got one arm out like this, and she's like, don't kill him, don't do it, Manchester. Until Nia and Brain are eventually able to stop him by using a hook. This is where, of course, Ben is, you know, now reveals his identity as Agent Liberty. Almost is ready to shoot Manchester until Cora's able to use her abilities, and they knock Manchester out, and Manchester ends up going to jail for what he did, for the murders he committed, and Agent Liberty, you know, everybody sees him in prison, but everybody begins to support him, including his wife. She's like, Agent Liberty, you know, and Cora sees him, and I guess Cora can hear him, but I'm sure Supergirl can. He says, see you soon, as he's going into prison. At the end, President Baker wants to know Supergirl's identity. Says, you know, we need to know your identity. Like, sorry, I can't give you what you want. Then I dismiss you basically just fires Supergirl from Dio, so she just flies away. But yeah, Bunker Hill, good episode in my opinion. But I just didn't care about the whole thing, and her dreams, and her telling Cora that she's from this planet, blah blah blah, I don't care to mention. But Suspicious Minds, yeah, another favorite of mine. Where Cora ends up finding a boat and is murdered by this alien that she can only see, so the alien that can turn invisible. And you find out it had to do with Colonel Haley. But they say, Supergirl, what do you do? Because Supergirl has a bit of an attitude with Colonel Haley because she's on deployment with DEO. She's like, I'm not even far from DEO. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop saving people. So Colonel Haley has to, of course, find out her identity by interrogating all the people at the DEO who know Supergirl's identity. So Alex asked them to, keep it a secret to protect Cora. To do whatever she can. Well, she's determined to find Supergirl's identity. She wants to find her identity, Supergirl's identity, so she can control her. But eventually they're going to find out that Colonel Haley and them, as some military, train these aliens, and these aliens want revenge. They even kill one of the officers that did that. Supergirl was able to use her freeze breath on them and stop them. Eventually Colonel Haley, who Supergirl saves, does find out Supergirl's identity. He's like, I know who you are, Cora Danvers. He's like, now you're going to have to do what I say now. And, Alex, knocks her out. And what's the sad part about this episode, though, is that John has to wipe out everybody's memories, including Alex, who Alex makes a decision. Tells, in order to protect Cora, I need to, and Cora's crying out. It's like, no, you're my friend, Alex, you're my sister. I don't want you, lose my best friends like Cora. We have no choice here. She'll just, Colonel Haley will stop. John did wipe her memory over, but now he wanted to find Supergirl's identity. So, he wipes, Cora leaves John's new place, because he's going to become a private investigator. So, but he's able to mind wipe her, and she just stops being, she forgets that Cora is Supergirl. Yeah. But it was a sad moment, though, when Cora was crying about it and stuff. But overall, good episode in my opinion. Then another favorite of mine is What's So Funny. That's what the episode's called, literally. What's So Funny about truth, justice, and the American way. Chancellor pretty much breaks out of prison with Hat and Minaj, who kind of reminded me of Venom a little bit. But anyway, Chancellor breaks out of prison with Hat, and they basically decided to start a revolution. They also kidnapped Ann Bullard, who was from the Fifth Dimension. He informs the elite. He's got his purple chain. He's got his hair changed to purple, and John's able to talk to him about what he's doing until Hat knocks him out. And Hat was a pretty cool character, but they said that they're going to start killing people that are haters and villains and that are bad guys, start murdering alien haters. And Cora, of course, Supergirl's not going to let them just do this, neither John. Bernie eventually trains Nia at the Forces Office because she's found out about superpowers, but honestly her training is lame, and I don't care for the actress who plays Nia. I'm sorry, you're just not attractive, and you got these buck teeth or whatever. Sorry to make fun of that. Buck teeth is what I'm gonna call her, who can't act. Swear. Dreamer, and her costume is honestly, I just thought lame. But anyway, she's trained, and by the way, she's somewhat a Mary Sue to me because she just becomes a badass. because there's something in the future about her which her brain won't tell her because of the space-time continuance, will be ruined. So she asks Calax, who doesn't like Brainy or whatever, ask him to see the future or whatever, to see what she can do. So all of a sudden she's just a badass, which makes no sense. It's stupid to me because it's just a joke. Because, you become a badass by watching a memory of your future self when you're supposed to learn how to fight. So she just is a badass now. Okay. Whatever, And her blue suit is lame. Yeah. In my opinion. But basically they're able to stop the elite. They do have Minerge arrested and eventually, I think it's just Minerge and the other alien arrested, which at the end just had. But they attempt to kill Lockwood, who has been released from prison, given a pardon. He becomes director of alien affairs, and yeah. Colonel Haley wants to give her Will Tostelina about her doing her project, with the rock to give people superpowers. She wants the her soldiers to become super soldiers just to fight. Ben wants to, wanted to ask the President Baker to deputize the Children of Liberty, but of course refuses to do that. But another favorite episode of mine. Sorry. Another favorite of mine is called Stand and Deliver. Ben takes a revolution against the aliens. The aliens eventually take a stand. Jonathan Bennett gets started in this episode, and somewhat he hates aliens as well, against the attention of the elite, and they decide to assassinate. So Manchester tries to eventually kill Bin Laden, which fails because Supergirl intervenes and protects him. Well, they eventually take a stand. Supergirl, John talks to her about taking a stand, but, to walk with them, to do like a march. Kind of like what Martin Luther King Jr. did back, I think, in the 60s, the march movement. So they wanted to, do it for aliens here, and, Supergirl was like, on cars or whatever, she stands with them. Basically, people begin to fight. But what I like about this episode the most is you see Jimmy Olsen, finally being Jimmy Olsen, you see him taking pictures and stuff. I'm like, wow, I didn't want Jimmy Olsen, the one that's the Guardian, or the one that's in love with Lena Luthor, which I'll explain what happens later to Jimmy Olsen, but I wanted the photographer Jimmy Olsen, the comedic, because he's also a funny character as well, but that's who Jimmy Olsen is, taking pictures and stuff. That's what the character, that's who the character is. But Jonathan Bennett, Supergirl was able to save him. He's like, thank you, Supergirl. He saves an alien himself. And he changes his mind. When Supergirl tells him, like, no, I'll support everybody. Humans and aliens all get along. Manchester is able to get into the fight too. He steals Well, he does have a little bit of fight John with it, because him and Hat break into the Fortress of Solitude to steal some weapons. He steals one weapon. I swear to God, it reminded me of Total Recall a little bit, but it was cool still. When Lord Manchester's beginning to fight. I forgot to mention an episode where Manchester is, he's able to get like these boosters or whatever. He's able to somewhat fly, which I thought was pretty cool. You find out that he's suicidal, that he doesn't care if he dies. When John beats him up with like, John Jones, finally nice to meet you. And basically what he's trying to do, he uses one of the holograms to fight John Jones. He's like, come on John, beat me up, come on, give me power. He's trying to get the Martian Manhunter out of him, saying that you say you're a man of peace, but you're a real Martian Manhunter. He's like, John, we'll get that out yet, Because like I said, John Jones has been dealing with an identity crisis. He finally comes to realize that he's just not a man of peace. John, goes to kind of meditate about it, and he turns himself into his real form as the Martian Manhunter like this. He's like, tonight, Manchester, I'm going to hunt you down as a manhunter, and then he just flies off. And then at the end, James gets shot by an unknown figure who shoots him in the back. And that's it, and the episode ends. Sorry. Another favorite of mine is called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? This is where we finally get to see Lex Luthor, who is played by Jon Cryer. Now, y'all, Jon Cryer played, he played in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Yes. As Lex Luthor's nephew, Lenny Luthor. Yeah. Who was Lex's annoying. But don't worry, he's good in here. He's not annoying as hell as he was in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. He was over the top at times, but he's really good. But 4 years ago, Lex created a red sky, which is basically a red sun, which Superman has no powers over. And he's trying to convince him that he's saving the world, but he's eventually killing people, torturing people, and he says that he's a hero, that Superman is a threat. As you can see, that him and Superman were friends, but he wanted Superman to join him, but Lex took it personal. Even kidnapped Jimmy Olsen, tortured him. He had about 16 scars. But then, you see Lex in the courthouse, and then Lena and Jimmy Olsen, testifying against him. He's like, Lex Luthor, you're charged with treason, murder, and all that stuff. And he's like, you think he's saying your self-defense, like, Superman made me do it, Lex says. And he's like, and I'm just a human trying to save the planet from an alien invasion. And she's like, well, you're going to serve 31 years in prison. She's like, everybody starts coughing and passing out. And he's like, well, maybe we should make it 32. And everybody starts coughing. Somewhat Lex was able to poison the courtroom. And the police, the guards, the bailiffs begin to knock him out, just put him on the ground. And Lex just laughs about it. When you hear that song by Frank Sinatra, My Way, and you see Miss Tessmacher and others talking to him. But Lex says that he's sick, he's got cancer, and that he's dying. So he needs to help Lena. He's going to start to help do the right thing and help fix her. He tells Lena about the story about her mother, that he wish he had her mother. And he's like, you came from a good parenting. I came from poison by Lionel Luthor and Lily Luthor, his father and mother, who just probably are the reasons you say why he is the man he is. But of course, Lex is manipulating her, tries to maybe have like a brother-sister connection with her, but she's able to find out that he set this whole manufacturer up, that he had James shot, so that she can use a test on me. So, and basically he took cure already. He's like, because that's killed two minutes and then see him take off his prison, and he's like, Miss Tessmacher, and he's like, sorry, not sorry. He's like, yeah, Lena, we set you up the whole time. And they pass Lena out. He's like, I don't want to kill her yet. I'm just going to take her to her office. And Lex has these these cops almost attack him. Of course, Lex is like, of course. So just watch. They turn lasers, kill these cops. More cops won't come. And it's like an opera kind of music. And Lex is like this, doing an opera sing. And while he's doing that, it's like there are mine grenades on the ground, and it's basically killing them. And like I said, these all these diabolics came back to life as Metallo. But he does this, being that was badass and over the top and badass though at the same time, and pretty cool. Otis and Lex take off in a helicopter to see Supergirl. And Lex is like, Supergirl, finally nice to meet you. And then the episode ends there, but it was an awesome episode to see like something finally entered the picture. For me, that was a bit of a saving grace for the season, but not by much. And then another favorite of mine is the House of L, which other brother worked out, and the House of L I think are definitely one of my favorites of the season. But I do talk about Lex being on trial. He's visited by Eve. She's hired by Lex to go undercover, and of course to watch Lena as well. And then he's coming up with this big grand plan. He finds out about, Lex, of course, having, being rich and powerful, because he still has money, is able to turn his prison cell into into a hotel almost. But with his connections, he threatens the warden, threatening to kill him, or threats against his loved ones, whatever. And so Lex decides to use this. Who we see Red Daughter, and he meets her, and she attacks him after attacking this boy, and he says, you call me Alex, just as a friend. And he's like, he sends her these books. He wants to teach her English. He wants to teach her how to hate America. He basically manipulates her. Into becoming evil, basically, because that's what he's good at manipulating people. Cosmiac, she, at first, when she comes over, you see this guy flirting with her, and she just touches her soul. She just grabs her and crushes it. She, goes to fly a little bit out in the air, just listen to the sound, freaks out, her powers go a little crazy. He visions and she attacks some of the Russian military. They take her out, and Lex tells the officer, not the officer, the Russian general, to take out one of his own men for flirting with her. So they basically just shoot the guy in the back. And Lex tells, I like it though when they go on the Jeep, and Otis like, don't stay here with the Russians. And Lex is like, no, Otis, she drive the car. And he tells them that, they need somebody to start the racism against aliens. His idea is to basically start a war. Lex's idea is to become a hero. Basically, his plan is to become a hero, start a war against Supergirl, and to start hate against anything. So that's when Ben Lockwood came into play. So basically, say Ben Lockwood, Age of Liberty, is after going to the season, it's Lex the whole time who sets him up. But Kazmir, she learns about English and stuff, even plays chess with Lex. Lex is able to push that job because he takes her to America, wearing a wig, which I think he looks funny in a wig. She has like a black wig. She goes to Linda Lee, which for me that was a nod to the Supergirl movie, the 1984 Supergirl movie starring Helen Slater. They go to Cora's apartment. She learns about Cora. Maybe she can start in Cora. She gets like an apartment too. Even to dress up like Cora or use her voice. She uses, Cosmic pretends to be Cora and tricks Alex, which I guess Supergirl was in the Elseworlds crossover while she was there. Does this take place like something months before Lex even came back? And Lex plans. I'm sorry. Listen. Yeah, Lex has this attack on this little boy, accusing the Americans of it, and he's like, "No, I gotta clean up your mess," and basically builds the hate up on America. And is able to convince Cosnia to hate America, making all these videos of America, how awful America is, and that they're planning to attack Russia, and so she needs to defend him and the country. And Quarterway Daughter gives her a suit, which she likes. And Lex also has metahuman powers, which his plan was to Selena test the cure in order to save Supergirl, from the illness. So he gives himself cancer because he knew Lena would go soft on him, and he was right. Because Lena does save him and it gave him powers. So, but overall the House of L was really good in my opinion. All About Eve. Alright, next one is All About Eve. Supergirl teams up with Alex and Lena to track down Eve. They find her cousin, who will also give them powers as well. She immediately was attacked by first, but Supergirl was able to calm the situation down, so that they're just there to help, not to fight her. Yeah. They also used the kryptonite heart to resurrect Otis. That's how he came back to life, by creating him to be Metallo. She sort of gets on to Lena about it and is like, "Oh my gosh, you don't trust me. This is why I'll bring you to Supergirl. You don't trust me. My certain actions have for a reason." And Supergirl's like, "You're right, Lena." They do fight a Metallo who attacks Supergirl. Supergirl's weakened, but they're eventually able to take the Metallo down. Supergirl, who eventually does find Eve, but Eve is a hologram, of herself. They able to get her in the Lexo suit just to keep her captured, while Red Daughter, as Supergirl, attacks the White House, killing a few members and saying Supergirl will become the villain. They use martial law against her, and Alexander believes that she's innocent, so they decide to help her. She tries to go with John, but he gets off-world or whatever. I probably forgot to mention, though, about Manchester in the following episode after. Sorry. They call John, but he goes off world. Well, John, what happens is, when he says he's not a man of peace, during our episode, I forgot to mention, Manchester sues the staff of Call-Off or whatever. I forget what the damn staff is called, but that can maybe kill half the world off. He defiles, John's father's Myron's grave, which makes John mad, and him and John eventually, have a fight. Well, again, he keeps on pushing John, and John eventually, they have a fight because he's about to kill the people at the dam, because he's using the staff to attack the dam, and him and John fight. Eventually, John is just able to get tired of it. He's just like, he's just fed up with it, and he becomes a Martian Manhunter. And he's able to get the staff from him, and he kills Manchester with it. And Manchester, everybody thought, this you said he just didn't care that he died, didn't even try to do anything, just let John kill him. And he's like, I guess you could say he was, in a twisted way, he was happy that he was able to make the Martian Manhunter come out of him, because he wanted them to kill him, and it worked. And when he saw him, he's like, well, John, you're beautiful, I guess you could say. When he saw him as his real parent, it's like, well, you're beautiful, John. And then he evaporates and dies. John, feeling guilty about this, needs guidance from his dad, from his father. And he's like, you took the scrolls. Okay, well, I took them. He's like, no, father. He's like, And he passes out. Him and his dad have a talk. And it's like, this again, he's like, so I killed Manchester because he was killed. I was like, so are you. I was like, I've been trying to make up, father. He's like, I'm not a man of peace. If Martian religion has died, then so be it. Can't deal with that anymore. I can't run from who I am anymore. That's just, at least I'll know who I am. And my other son was like, and who are you? He's like, I'm the Martian Manhunter. He tells his dad. And I guess you can say he's relieved now, and thanking his dad, realizing that this is who he is. His father's like, I wanted you to promote peace, but I don't want you to be like me. I wanted you to be you, John. I don't want you to change. Martian Manhunter is who you are, so you need to be. But eventually he's able to set the peace, and he returns the staff to his planet, to his father, where no one can ever get it again. But anyway. All about Eve. Okay. Yeah, okay, I talked about that episode. So, crime and punishment. Okay. After Red Daughter attacked the house, but James is there too, and you find out that Jimmy has powers, which I thought was ridiculous for them to give him powers. Jimmy also has powers. I'm like, no, just doesn't work for me. But anyway, he, Lena gets her mother to help out by using a truth seeker, or even, poisons her mother to do it. They want to arrest Supergirl, but Colonel Haley is able to trick him by the watch by pressing it twice. Baker eventually just tells him to deputize the Children of Liberty. James having these episodes, his sister Kelly's here, who I didn't care for. I mean, this Kelly Olsen just should have been for 2 episodes, but she's here to be a love interest for Alex, which I just didn't care about that, but that's just me. Lena and Supergirl go to the prison to go to Alex's prison cell, find out what he's up to. Carl tries to talk to his cellmate, but cellmate doesn't trust him. Doesn't trust Cora, say what bad she's doing. And eventually Otis breaks in as Metallo and, lets all the prisoners go, promises him a free life, out of jail, free Cora if they kill Supergirl. So the prisoners trying to fight Supergirl, which I thought was a cool fight. She's able to take them out, of course, being Supergirl, she's super strength, so she's able to just get through all of them using heat vision to lock themselves up. And eventually she fights Otis, and it's a good fight because Otis uses green kryptonite. Because it's more like he's got like a chest plate now. It's just not in the middle of his heart, but it's like a chest plate. and Supergirl fight, and Lex calls him, and eventually blows him up, but eventually brings him back to life just to get rid of Lena and stuff, and never find out what Lex is up to. But you find out that the guy that hated Supergirl, he loves Kara and everything. She's a great reporter, so he says to tell the truth, and eventually gets along with Kara. I don't know. To be honest, I've always liked Melissa Moore's Kara, just because I think with those lashes, she looks just more gorgeous. I think those lashes are very cute. Supergirl ends up getting framed for the riot, so Kara says stop being Supergirl for a while, just to lay low. Just because she doesn't want to go out. She does try to save some people in this episode, but they're saying, no, we don't trust you, you're a villain. And the guy, she says, like, my daughter looked up to you after what you did. So she decides to play it smart and lay low for a while. Alright, my last favorite episode is an episode called Red Dawn. Kara's evidence gets tampered with. She's able to get evidence on Ben Lockwood and Lex Luthor, but since the president's working with her, Kara's able to scapegoat about bad daughter interviews and says that being kryptonite weaken you. You're a terrible person, Supergirl. And eventually the kryptonite starts back to you. They sort of fight a little bit until Kara jumps out the window, was able to fly away, of course. She tries to talk to Lena talks to Ben Lockwood, who she tells him that he's a pawn and goes through the scheme. Ben Lockwood eventually goes to talk to Otis and they listen to what they're saying. And he's like, well, since you know that now, I gotta kill you. And him and Otis fight again. He's like, come on, Benny boy, take me down. And he's like, and Ben kills him by taking his heart out. He's like, the name is Agent Liberty. And eventually, though, I forgot to mention, though, Ben's wife gets murdered, and he just found out they did it, but he uses the Harlem Rock serum on himself to give himself powers. John eventually comes back. Jimmy also tries to find him back too, his powers, and Jimmy, who does a weak throw of a truck, every super strength but doesn't leave away, and Dreamer and Brainy are there too, and he just, he Ben eventually throws the truck back at them, knocks all three of them out. And Martian Manhunter is like, I'm not Martian Manhunter. You're just using your powers because you're in an emotional mood, and you caused all the pain in your life, Ben. His son begins to see how much of a bad man his father is. His father even leaves his mother's funeral after she gets murdered, just leaves. And he wants to go find a murderer, and he tells his dad, instead of like, I hate you, and just walks away from his dad. He finds out one of his friends is, well, first though, his son does help murder him, which I'll mention a little earlier, but eventually his son just walks away from him because of it. Eventually Red Dawn, posing his car, comes to Eliza because Lex is able to convince her to go there. So Eliza fights her. Supergirl comes, of course, shows up, and her Red Dawn fight, and Red Dawn's got like an armor suit too, which she uses to fight Supergirl. And damn it, what's her name? Alex sees this, and she remembers that car. Supergirl car is like beating down, and Alex starts crying like, no, Supergirl, no, car, no. And Eliza's there watching, she starts crying too. Eventually, she's able to get the bringing the strength back by the grass becomes like the sun for her, and it brings its energy. The true purpose of the Calmore satellite has enough energy from the Lexo suit to bring her back to life. Well, but eventually Cora is able to come back to life. And on television, you see that Red Daughter's been killed, or Supergirl, and Lex just became the hero of the world, basically. And like, how did this happen? Okay, now I'm going to get to my least favorite episode, so this might be a little bit of ranting at times. Alright, first one is my marriage. Yeah. Yeah. This woman named Pamela Veer, who is a thief, she gets this symbiote, snake-like creature on her, a parasite, who can come out of her back. And honestly, I just thought this was a freaking this was a rip-off of Venom, which came out the same year. I'm like, why rip off a movie that wasn't even that good in the first place? It's got to do with Valentine's Day as well. Oh my god, I'm forgetting shit. Gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I keep forgetting to write stuff down. Wait a minute. But, yeah, eventually Ben is able to talk to his son about starting the Children of Liberty, so he makes an announcement, and they're able to save some people by murdering and doing that. And as Ben looks proudly over his son for what he's done. Yeah. Brandy gets invited by Valentine's Day party. I didn't care for any of that. Eventually she gets a message from Manchester Black. Then he does get released from prison in the episode. But marriage was just okay, in my opinion, okay. And then another least favorite of mine is called Blood Memory. Well, the Supergirl clone, Kaznia, Red Daughter, goes into a coma. Cora has a situation with Alex where she can't remember. Yeah. This is where Nia gets more of her powers, and Cora goes with her, and you find out that her mother was a dreamer, and she has these dreams throughout the episode. Of her mother, and her sister thinks she's getting it. Her mother dies from getting bit by a spider, and you also have Alex who are dissing from each other. Alex, they're on these kids that are selling drugs that it can turn them like into Hulkbusters or something. They get attacked by Children of Liberty. The daughter, his sister, wants to get revenge, so she uses it too. And Supergirl uses heat vision to stop Alex from shooting one of the Children of Liberty, whatever, and stopping this girl, which I didn't care about this girl who says, well, she's been bullied her whole life. I'm like, okay, is that really an excuse to take a drug and turn into a Hulk monster and hurt people? No. And plus, I didn't really care because you don't really get to know this girl, so she's shy and quiet, so you really don't get to know nothing about this girl. I just didn't care about any of this. I did not care about this episode. It was boring, and I just didn't care about the whole thing with Nia. Nia becomes a dreamer. Oh yeah, she becomes a dreamer in the Merge episode. Again, Lane costume. And her sister was pissed off because she didn't get her powers, blah blah blah. I don't care. I really just didn't give a shit, about Dreamer at all. I didn't care about the storyline. And then Carl agrees with her that she's super well, you join my family, and I'm like, my super family. And I'm like, I just didn't care about this episode. And then another least favorite of mine is called American Dreamer. When Cora, which I thought was an interesting episode where she's trying to investigate more of Ben Lockwood, and she's using her super speed to ride on a board real fast to find out stuff. But you have Dreamer returning, coming to help her fight crime, whatever. And the thing is, it's lame how she fights crime. I'm sorry, I think her powers are lame. And not only that, she has these stupid puns. You know, it's like, it's time for y'all to have a good night's sleep, or, you know, she writes Sleeping Beauty with a marker on the bad guy's head. You know, she tries to fight off the Children of Liberty. She just has these bad puns, and honestly, I just didn't care, because I was falling asleep through the episode. Yeah, Dreamer to me is a boring character, and again, I just don't care about her. Again, Brainy is just irritating as ever, trying to tell her how he feels about her, blah blah blah. You know, Ben's son realizes one of his friends is an alien. He ends up being okay with it, and he's angry for what his father is doing. At the end of the episode, Ben's wife is killed. It's by May because he arrested her husband, so she says to kill him. Says to take revenge by killing Ben Lockwood's wife. Yeah. And then, will the real Miss Tessmacher please stand up? Just 2 more episodes, yo. Talking about. James takes his powers over. Again, James having powers, just, I thought was stupid. Jimmy Olsen, I'm like, this is not Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen is the one, like I keep saying, taking photographs. A photographer, that's Jimmy Olsen is a photographer. That's the Jimmy I like in Smallville. The one that takes photographs, the one that has a good sense of humor and is funny. That's Jimmy Olsen. That was in Smallville, or in Superman animated, or the Christopher Reeve movies. You know, just Jimmy being Guardian and being like shit with Lena Luthor. It just didn't work for me. Having superpowers, I'm like, which I thought was just stupid. Lena and Carl go to Cosnia to get information. She finds out at Red Daughter's cell that Red Daughter was obsessed with her, stalking her, because she goes to her apartment and she finds out that she's been watching her. She tries to tell Carl. Carl tries to tell Lena that she's Supergirl, but Lena goes off people who betrayed her, blah blah blah. You know, Ben is able to catch his wife's murderer though, but James, John, and Brainy and Nia, you know, Gary Dreamer were able to stop him. But overall, just another boring episode in my opinion. Didn't care for it. Oh yeah, Miss Tessmacher, she's like, again, it kind of reminded me totally we're making these multiple versions of herself, just saying, okay, yeah, they're they, you know, they fight with her a little bit. She nearly takes Tessmacher as this, it was like a big shocker almost. Supergirl was able to, you know, fly away. And overall, it was just alright. But okay, then my last least favorite was the final, which was called The Quest for Peace, which I hate that title because it reminds me of Superman 4, The Quest for Peace title. I'm like, why would you use a terrible name? I mean, a freaking, you know, title from a shitty Superman film. In fact, in my opinion, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace is actually, in my opinion, the worst Superman film of all time. But that's just my opinion. Lex frames himself a hero. You see him earlier for all what he's done. He sets up the battle, the fight, and Lex, you know, do some playing My Way, which I did enjoy that. You see Supergirl fighting while Lex is attacking America, but he's able to attack Cosmo if he betrays them. And you see him just being able to stop and saying, you know, I did it my way. He's like, you know, excited for what his plan. He's able to make himself a hero. He's like, no, Kuznetsov, you do this. Like, and when he has Red Daughter trapped in Amatrix, which I I like that, by the way, I forgot to mention Lex, who has the part of the exosuit arm, needs to test it out. So he tells this guy up, it's like upstairs, like, excuse me, can you stand still? Pow! He shoots him, like, thank you. Well, at least that worked. But right I was like, Alex, I trusted you. It was like, trust, you're either stupid or just really naive. It was like, I'm sorry. But I did it because I manipulated him, and plus, I hate Kryptonians, as he tells her. He brings his sister, he brings Lena and Lillian. Luna and Lillian relationship reminds me of Lionel and Lex from Smallville. It just reminds me of that. To me, like I said, I don't care for Lena. She's basically just the male version of Lex Luthor from Smallville. Supposed to be the one that's good, trying to be good for the world, but eventually she's going to turn evil, and then blah blah blah. I don't really care. Lex becomes the new director of affairs, and of course she said the president is a traitor, and Lex wants to blow up Arkham City, which Superman has been on because he trusted Supergirl to live there. Superman and Lois and their family, because they have a baby, live in Arkham City, and of course since Lex hates Superman, he wants to kill Superman. Still is obsessed with killing him. So eventually he's able to fight Supergirl, take her on. Then Lightwood comes for a fight too, using his superpowers. Supergirl's able to take him down though. They eventually give him a cure and get rid of his powers. James' powers ends up going away too. He's like, by the end of the episode, he's wearing like an eye patch, which made me crack up. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help but to laugh at James for wearing an eye patch. But Supergirl fights with Lex, and she's like, I became a parent too. He was like, how did you survive? Because he thought she was dead. He's like, I'm Supergirl. Because when she first encounters Lex, when they have a fight, at the House of Bell episode, he's like, of course, I'm Lex Luthor, And she's like, I'm Supergirl. And they fight a bit, and he's very close to killing Supergirl until Kazuya shows up. She's like, I'm sorry, Kara. She's like, apologizes. That was for Red Dawn, and she's eventually able to take out Lex. And Lex ends up falling to gets transported to the office where Lena shoots him. He's like, Lena, you've been lied to the whole time. And she was like, Clark Danvers is Supergirl. And Lena's upset about this. You can see her get mad about it. And now in season 5, she's going to be evil, basically. Just like when Lex went evil and started going down his dark path in season 5. That's when Lena starts to go getting pissed off at Cora. Kelly and Alex like kids, which I don't care about. Again, Walk again, and bringing me into a relationship, which again I didn't care about. Eventually, Eve goes talking to this lady, but says they've been watching Eve, and that Eve works for Leviathan, which plays in season 5. And then you have John Jones' brother come to talk, which I don't know. The whole thing with him having a brother was random. It was just like out of the blue, he has a brother now. Okay, I was okay with him having a father, but him having a brother just didn't work for me. I'm like, no, because they never mentioned this before in the show. Season 0 was from the father, but out of the blue, John has a father. Has a brother now, which just kind of randomly happened. The whole thing with Leviathan just didn't really make any sense to me. But overall, I just thought the final was alright, but just disappointing. The only thing that we cared about was Melissa Benoist and Rachel Gray. Everything else with Ben Lockwood, again, like I said, for me, the first part of the season is good, and the last part, he just sucks. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I'm going to give my final thoughts on Supergirl Season 4. And before I do that, though, I guess I'll go ahead and tell you what Season 5 is about. In the 5th season, it is about Cat Douglas, a new editor-in-chief in the form of Andrea Ross. Cora and her friends and themselves facing a new threat known as Leviathan, following a multiverse-destroying crisis. Cora adjusts to her new life on the newly created Earth Prime, while being forced to work undercover as Leviathan continues to cover operations under Gemini. But there's also the crisis on that. The Anti-Monitor, who you do see in the Elseworld, you saw in the one of the episodes before Elseworld came to be, brings Lex Luthor back to life. And in the final season, Lex attempts to finish what the Anti-Monitor started after the latter fell in conquering the multiverse. He successfully imprisons Cora in the Phantom Zone, and her friends figure out a way to bring her back out. Cora discovers her father in his Phantom Zone after their rescue. Supergirl's group must contend with the Fifth Dimension M, who also escaped the Phantom Zone, seeking different terms to get revenge on her father, King Bruce. Lex Luthor soon gets involved with Nest, who he falls in love with, so Lex Luthor ends up becoming a freaking sick love puppy at the end of the season. Yes, I've heard about the season final, and it just seems very woke, it seems very terrible, so yeah. So, anyway, to give my final thoughts of Supergirl Season 4, and, but Supergirl Season 4, again, my least favorite that I have. I prefer Season 1 is still great in my opinion. That's still the best season of Supergirl in my opinion. And then I would say Season 3 would be second for me. And then my least favorites would be Season 2 and 4. But with this especially being, I would put this at the bottom of the barrel. Not complete, no. I give it thumbs down. So I would give this season 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah, I didn't care. Melissa and Jim Cryer was great. But I didn't care about, and Ben Lockwood was a good villain, but what I didn't like about, I just didn't like the whole thing with the racism with the aliens, the race agenda, the political agenda, again, being a woke agenda. Alex decides to adopt a baby girl in one of the episodes, and I didn't care about it. Her, again, being whining, wanting to be a mommy, and I'm like, when Lex Luthor, who was playing World Domination, and you want to have a freaking kid, you want to adopt a baby, you want to bitch about that right now when the world is going to go to, going to be taken over by a lunatic, But overall, some good things in this season, but a lot of it's boring in my opinion. A lot of it's pretty lackluster. But Ben Lockwood, the actor is good, but he's better in Smallville, because in this season he's just a pawn. So it was Lex Luthor the real villain of this season, not Agent Liberty, which Liberty was a cool character, but again, I just thought he was missing a use in the season. I do like John Jones, and Manchester was good. So there were some things I liked, but overall, terrible season. Maybe I'll give it 3 out of 4 stars because there were some redeeming qualities about it, but despite that, it's a nice special effects of robotic suit Supergirl wears. It's really cool. But after this is for me where I just stopped watching the show completely. That's why I won't talk about season 5 and 6, because I refuse to watch them because I think they're lame and I think they're boring. I hated season 5 and season 6, and I'm sorry, they'd be rants because I would not want to sit through them again. Sorry, not interested in watching them again. So, but Supergirl was a show in general. Season 1 started off great. For me, it just became woke, became boring. It just became bad in my opinion. Yeah, Supergirl, in my opinion, for me, just when the show went on, it just got worse. It just became more of a letdown. But season 1, you had great characters, you had good storylines, and then you just take it away because of agendas and pandering. And that's what, and the show just became uninteresting to me. I mean, Lex Luthor was great, but it doesn't really save the show. Melissa is great. It just, the show's got to be better. The writings sucked. The writing got worse after this. Just kept getting worse. The writing in CW, thank you for screwing up Supergirl. You could have done a lot better. I'm thankful we're getting Supergirl in the Flash movie, and hopefully she'll get her own movie one day, which is done right, with no agendas attached to it, and not trying to be preachy about anything. But Supergirl Season 4, thumbs down for it. But anyway, guys, let me know what you thought about Supergirl Season 4 down in the comments down below. Oh, guys, I'm going to be doing 2 more videos tonight. A trailer reaction video, which is a surprise one. I'll mention that when I do that video, so definitely look forward to that, guys. And next, maybe tonight, I'll be doing a TV show collection video. Alright. We are about to come to an end to my Superman marathon, finishing up with Superman Lois. Next will be a TV show collection, though, for this. And next weekend will probably be favorite episodes of Superman Lois Season 1. So, this will be the end of my Superman marathon. So, guys, let me know in the comments below what do you think of Supergirl. Again, a lame season in my opinion. Thumbs down, and 3 out of 5 stars for it. But Supergirl Season 4, just well, it went downhill for me. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this season in your opinion? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or do you agree with me? Do you feel the same way about it I did? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, and I'll see you later. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.